Well, good morning. Well, here we are, we're on August 15th, and we're happy to be here and giving the devotionals, and we thought we'd mix it up a little, change it around a little bit this morning, so the devotionals don't get so commonplace and so predictable, and also give you an opportunity to hear what else is out there in way of devotionals, because this devotional that I'm about ready to read is from Spurgeon, and it's for people that have more of a focus, can concentrate longer. You know, we live in a world with Facebook, and you put something on the Facebook, and all these people respond with 2 or 3 words. Oh, that's wonderful, or they're beautiful, or did you have fun, or this type of thing, and that's it. There's no commitment to a real thought. And so with the Lord, though, the Lord challenges us to be more than we normally would be, and not be so lazy. So reading from Spurgeon this morning on August 15th, the morning devotional on August 15th from Spurgeon's book on morning and evening, reading the morning section, says, Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, from Genesis 24:63. Very admirable was his occupation. If those who spend so many hours in idle company, light reading, and useless pastimes could learn wisdom, they would find more profitable society and more interesting engagements in meditation and in the vanities which now have such charms for them. That's a great thought. It's also a long sentence. Takes some concentration. Why, Spurgeon is not for the faint of heart. We should all know more, live nearer to God, and grow in grace if we were more alone. Meditation chews the cud and extracts the real nutriment from the mental food gathered elsewhere. When Jesus is the theme, meditation is sweet indeed. Isaac found Rebekah while engaged in private musings. Many others have found their best beloved there. Very admirable was the choice of the place. In the field we have a study hung around with text for thought. From the cedar to the hyssop, from the soaring eagle down to the chirping grasshopper, from the blue expanse of heaven to a drop of dew, all things are full of teaching. And when the eye is divinely opened, that teaching flashes upon the mind far more vividly than from written books. Our little rooms are neither so healthy, so suggestive, so agreeable, or so inspiring as the fields. Let us count nothing common or unclean, but feel that all created things point to their Maker, and the field will at once be hallowed. Very admirable was the season of sunset, as it draws a veil over the day, befits that repose of the soul when earth-born cares yield to the joys of heavenly communion. People don't write like that anymore. I mean, this is just a level of education and literature that's gone by. The glory of the setting sun excites our wonder, and the solemnity of approaching night awakens our awe. If the business of this day will permit it, it will be well, dear reader, if you can spare an hour to walk in the field at eventide. But if not, the Lord is in the town too, and will meet with thee in thy chamber or in the crowded street. Let thy heart go forth to meet him. Meet him in the field, meet him in the street, meet him in your room. Meditate on him and on what he's created. And if you're in your room, there's much about the Bible you can meditate on. So there's a thought from Spurgeon that excites the heart and the mind, and it's written more challenging than our other devotionals are. But I thought I'd start with that so you can see what's available for you if your mind can ascend up to the level that Spurgeon's at. Okay, let's take a look then on August 15th for our book from Morning Devotionals by Tom Wallace. We keep giving these away. They're good for people to start their day. They're a light thought. They're not like Spurgeon, but they do give you a thought. 2 monks on a pilgrimage came to the ford of a river. There they saw a girl dressed in all her finery, obviously not knowing what to do since the river was high and she did not want to spoil her clothes. Without more ado, one of the monks took her on his back, carried her across, and put her down on dry ground on the other side. Then the monks continued on their way, but the other monk, after an hour, started complaining. "Surely it is not right to touch a woman. It is against our vows to have close contact with women. How could you go against the rules for monks?" The monk who had carried the girl walked along silently, but finally he remarked, "I set her down by the river an hour ago. Why are you still carrying her?" One of the hardest things we must do is to let go of something from the past. Someone does us wrong and seeks forgiveness, but we want to keep the memory. Or maybe we made a mistake and we can't seem to stop beating ourselves up, despite the fact that we have done what God says to do to be forgiven. We don't need to keep carrying the memory and the guilt. In fact, it often seems more difficult to forgive ourselves than to forgive others. Paul wrote, "Even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye," Colossians 3:13. "And brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things that which are behind, and reaching forth," did you want to get that? "And reaching forth unto the things which are before, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." Thank you.